spirit of something like this. I also just don't like toolbox minimap overall. As I was saying earlier, I think it's kind of a crutch that lets people get away with developing really bad habits. If somebody wants to use it, they can.
Fox has been renamed.
Outside of
Ren is
records,
a bitch
I think
disconnected
it's
from LOA.
kind of pointless. If you don't think people aren't using it as a crutch, like, look at the extraneous shit that a lot of people have on it. I'm not, Bears would be a bad example because he just has every single fucking line in the game that everybody has ever given him on it, including a whole bunch of redundant ones, but, like... Yeah, it gives you more information, but it also encourages bad behavior, like bad mechanics. That's undeniable as far as I'm concerned. Like... a lot of people rely on Toolbox and don't pay attention to the stuff that's going on around them. And I think that's bad. I would be quite happy if people, didn't use it until after they knew what they were doing in an area. But, that's not how people operate. They just want to use the easy... they just want to use the easy tool that solves all their problems. Which, I can understand that that's, not incorrect. It just... I see a lot of people doing really stupid things with Toolbox. I'm not going to claim to be a perfect player, but, I try to pay attention to, little details about, like, mob positioning and movement and stuff. Alright, fresh shroud here. Get away from there, Van. Come on. My problem with pure records in this game is, it's not the stuff like, I've got a custom compass that, well, a lot of other people have access to this one too, but, it's not exactly a secret, but, it's not the fact that you need stuff like spirit range. It's just manually popping pecons isn't something that I consider to be a skill. It's just tedious most of the time, But at the same time, the way that standard records get used... I should have popped it before running in here. The way that standard records, are starting to use stuff like hotkeys and stuff to just spam scrolls and then just instantly reapply massive amounts of pecons is basically a task run at some point. Yes and no. Like, there are definitely records where not having to do that makes it a lot easier. But for the most part, it's just some, little tiny monotonous thing that you have to do. Like, particularly on solo records. On the large group records, what's happening is, people are getting so tremendously heavily scroll dependent now that, that they're popping, hundreds of sets of pecons in a run. And, you know, to me, that's... I don't want to say that that's a problem, but that's where, you know, stuff, the distinction between, you know, a standard and a, you know, pure run breaks down. But for, you know, just like a solo run or whatever, like, it doesn't matter. Or at least it doesn't matter much. You know, and like the one thing with the rules that really bothers me is this whole slow loading is task thing, and that's just because a bunch of shitters had a shitty run and they wanted to keep it a record, so they deliberately voted for a stupid rule so that they could keep their shitty record on top of the leaderboard. You know, that's literally the only thing that happened there. You know, slow loading is not TAS. It has never been TAS. The idiots voting for it should have just been told to fuck off. You know, if you had to do the packet manipulation stuff to... Yeah, I can agree with that. But, you know, if you had to do the packet manipulation to slow load, yeah. But you can just slow load manually by, you know, fucking right-clicking on the window while you're loading. Like, it's not... It's something you can do with the base client. Like, slow loading should be allowed in fucking pure runs. Regardless of what, you know, you think pure runs or standard or, you know, whatever, any of that shit should exist. Wow, these guys are chasing for fucking ever. God damn. Yeah, but, you know, gate glitch versus non-gate glitch. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I don't know. One of the problems with stuff like that is a lot of the rules only make sense in the context of certain areas. You know, that there are areas where, like, I don't really think gate glitching is a big enough difference. And, like, if the game were more active, you know, like...
Dan switched channel to JV Room on LOA.
If the game were more active, you know, like Ocarina of Time or whatever has, you know, millions of categories or whatever. Because there's people who are actively interested in running a bunch of different categories. I think you can start breaking things down to that. You know, like you could have normal mode records, you could have consumable records, you know, versus no consumable, gate clip versus non-gate clip. Like you could have all of those things and all the other various permutations of that, but I don't think the game is active enough to have that. And by the way, when you say gate glitch, you're specifically referring to the slow loading for DOA, or do you just mean gate clipping in general? Because I wouldn't have a problem with having a separate category for gate clipping in general versus non-gate clip stuff. Because gate clipping is, you know, it's in the game. It's not like it's, you know, a standard or a task thing, but it is definitely very manipulative of, you know, quote unquote, how the game is supposed to be played. How is that a dodge? Goddamn. Do wish you could get through here without touching the purple. Let's see. I'm gonna try dodging this patrol. I gotta get the bulls. I really wish Vang didn't fucking teleport to you here. He's not actually really useful. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that group, I think. This group I do have to kill still, though. Why? Mini, like, standard is stuff that you can reproduce with, like, macros and text mod. Mini pet targeting isn't on that list. I don't agree with it making things more consistent. It's about allowing you certain quality of life things so that you don't have to just constantly do, you know, hurdy-dur, I have to pop my alcohol on the minute every minute. And that's not necessarily a consistency thing. It can lead to consistency things, but it's not intrinsically a consistency thing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to kill this group. That sucks. Control point's just kind of shitty. Honestly, I don't know. To me, use skill isn't a big deal. Like, there's very little that use skill does that is actually broken, and in a lot of cases, use skill is actually detrimental to, you know, if you're using it continuously. You know, like, use skill is just the same as using a fucking clicker macro every time you get scrolled. What? So, yeah, you know, I think it's perfectly valid to ask what the fuck the difference is there. Jesus Christ, that guy hits like a fucking truck. Alright, I have to do the red ball first. It's super unfortunate.
Lexan switched channel. Lexan disconnected from LOA.
Jesus. I can dash away, but... Oof. Have to wait for Vengeful Weapon to expire. Which sucks, but... I'm just gonna wait to regen energy full. Or to full. Because this guy's a pain in the ass. I have to D-shot troll. Otherwise I can't actually kill him. I mean, I can use the imp, but... You know, it's sketch. If I just try to brute force it, because you can just punch me through Shroud and I die. There's nothing I can do about it. Oh, Jesus, okay. Gonna troll soon. That corpse positioning is actually potentially a problem. Because that's gonna keep me chained on stuff. This guy, you know, in the middle is annoying, but I can deal with that. Alright, now we can begin the cancer. Come on. Come here, come here. And we don't have any more melees, fortunately. But we've got a ranger. So we're gonna have to get him to come over here and fucking throw dirt at me. Excellent. Come here, come here. You know you want to. How is that a dodge? Like, really? That too. Alright. Marksmanship.
Viva switched channel to JV Room on LOA.
Alright, so this gets a bit more interesting. Now, I need to get Necros. This is actually going really smoothly. shouldn't open my mouth with that, but, you know. Alright, so... Alright, so I gotta spread them out again. Come on, come on, come on, stay with me. I'm amazed that that writ broke. I mean, I'm not going to complain, mind you, but... Yeah, Monk's going to fucking heal him, isn't it? Nope, 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 come here. Fuck. Okay, come here. Recuperation's a real problem for me. Maybe I need to de-shot Guardian. Not sure. Or not Guardian Aegis. Go. Lost masters on this, but doesn't matter. Just need to power through this shit and then I can get to the mainland. Actually start having some fun. This is, you know, an example of something that's much easier to do on the assassin because you just stand there with Shroud and cast empathy and these guys can't deal with it. I don't have any good damage options besides conditions. I mean, I guess I could have attacked for this shit without conditions when I'm fighting the monk, but not sure if that's better or worse, honestly. Do, 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 do.